because right directly in front of us, you'll see a seam of coal. That coal, that's right there, all the way through here, runs from here to Newfoundland. Well, how did they know that? Because they went out there on the ocean floor and they drilled. They know how far the seam runs in this direction to Newfoundland and along our shoreline 42 miles. That coal is over 300 million years old. It's the remains of plants, vegetation, swamps and leaves that we pressed together, and a forest. If the forest happened to have trees in it at 30 feet in height, you'll get a seam like this, 5.5 feet in height. If the trees happen to be 60 feet or 100 feet, you'll get a seam of 14 feet in height. And it will determine what kind of coal it's going to be while it's forming itself into coal, with them bogs and swamps and everything. The more pressure above the coal seam up here, the harder the coal would be like anthracite coal, the #1 coal. We haven't got that. The less pressure above your coal seam, the softer the coal would be like bituminous. And that's the kind of coal that you see right there is bituminous coal. And I still burn that coal to heat my home. It took 2 hours to cut this out. You're not being paid for it. It took an hour and a half to get here to the room when you left the surface and you put your little brass number on the board. 3.5 hours have gone by. You didn't make a cent. You didn't send one box out of this room yet. So what you got to do now is take this apart. You shut your air line off here, you disconnect it here, unscrew the screw jack, 218 pounds, you drag it out of our way. Now the next job that you're going to do, you're not going to be paid for it. It's here is a drill. It is called an air drill. I put my air line on that little spud down there. I pick that 5-foot drill up. I would drill a hole in my top bench in this corner. I drill a hole in this corner and the center. This is called your top bench. Once this was cut out, then I go to the bottom bench. I do the same thing, 3 holes in the bottom. Now we're ready to blast the coal in here. We're not qualified to do that. We got a call for a shot fire who's allowed to carry that lamp, called a lock flame tool safety lamp. So when that man shot fire from down here, before he shot that coal out, he'd check the roof out, make sure there's no gas in here. Great. Where's your powder? You paid for the powder, the company didn't give it to you. You take 6 ounces of Monteville powder out of your little powder can, you give it to the shot fire. He took a little cap out of his bag, which was on his little belt. He placed it into the Monteville powder, but he placed it into the hole that we drilled. We had a long stemmy stick, and we drove that powder all the way in. All you need was 6 ounces, because that's bituminous coal, that is a soft coal. Now, we had 2 little wires sticking out, with the powder sticking out, with the cap on it. We hooked them up, string your cable out there, and then you go out there, and then you blast the coal out here on the bottom first, then you blast the coal on the top. When all this coal was blasted out of here, you'll have one great big pile of loose coal in front of you. It is no good down here. It has to be up there on the surface to get paid for it. Now we're ready to send it up? Nope, not yet. 4.5 hours have gone by. We better get our timber up in a hurry. Because if you don't get these timbers up, what's going to happen? That roof will be in on top of us. So that's the kind of timber that you had. They give you 6-3 timber. You didn't have to pay for that. You take your little timber, dig down to a good solid base on the bottom. Make sure it's good solid. Then you cut your timber up and you place one of these timbers on my roof and one down here. Now before it starts taking weight, we put these wedges up here because that would tighten it up a little bit so it wouldn't be wobbling all over the place. But once the weight starts settling down on top of this timber, you're not going to move it. Once you settle down and you had your the other tree timber up, great. And now it's safe to get under here. I lost my uncle way back in the mines. My 2 uncles were working a room. And the company sent down rotten timber. And when the weight came down, the whole roof came down, the 2 of them. One fella got out, the other fella got killed. And I lost my first cousin driving down one of them rake boxes going down the mines. But that's the dangers in coal mine. You never know when something can happen. So once these timbers were put up by you, you know good timber that it's safe to come on here. So the little boy would come in with a box to this room. Place it right here. Oh yeah, the road makers would extend the road as we're going in, and the pipe fitters, they got $3.65 a day for doing that. That's 2 jobs you didn't have to do. Once you put your little empty there, put a sprag underneath the wheel, and once you got the sprag underneath the wheel, the boy would take his horse from this room, he'd go to the next one, because the fellas out there has a box to go out, and you grab your shovel. That's called a pan shovel. That is what's going to load that box up. So once we loaded the box all up, pick the big lumps on it, because it was going to be weighed when it gets to the surface. Now, to identify this box, what room it came from. Because every 50 feet, 2 men driving up this way, 2 men driving out, 2 men driving out, 2 men this way. When we left the surface in the morning, we would take down what you call a tally, and a piece of tally string on it, a metal plate with the number of your room. So they say, where's all your tallies at? They're out on the timber. Go get one. We got to get paid for that box. You see the little hole in the front of that box? You tie that on, and you tie that on good and tight. So that tally will be hanging on the box that we loaded. When it gets up to the surface, the man took it off, placed it on the board, where our check number, and you come into the mine. You go up and see how many tallies you had hanging on the board. If you only had 1 for the day, that's all you made for that whole day. If you got 10, very seldom that you have 10. And 10 would give you $6.80 for the day down here. And you might have 5, very seldom. Very seldom you got 10, but you might have 5, you might have 6 for a good day down here. And if the tally drops off the box when the leak's here, and it goes up there with no tally on it, the company has a free box call. You lost it. And another thing used to happen. The fellow in the next room, he'd sneak out there in the dark and he'd take that tally off your box and throw it away and put his on your box of coal. And when we found out, we used to invite him down to Dickie's Tavern in Glace Bay Saturday night, and he got that, let me tell you. And we had to pay a man's wages out of that, because the company that you worked for, at the end of the week, they were stealing your coal, and they would not give you the right amount that you loaded for the week. So what you had to appoint a man from your union to represent you as a check weighman, and that man was going to keep track of the boxes for the man, and each man would pay his wages out of that 68 cents. Section. Any question now? How do you do it?
What was a good day and a bad day, and what conditions would make it such a bad day?
Well, say if the empties weren't coming out, because you had an endless haulage running out here, with the empties coming down, the full ones go up. Now the horse only took the full ones out to that deep, and it'd be a haulage running all the time. But if there's a big snowstorm, and there's no haulage, and there's no boxes, the other fellows were getting your boxes, and you weren't getting any. There's a good day, very seldom, that you got 10. There's a good day, would be 6. Probably 6 or 5. There's bad days, 1 box, really bad day. And say we were in here and we blasted everything out on the pavement, and all of a sudden we didn't get no boxes for the whole day. Well, the other fella come down, he'd take it all, you lost it, wasn't there for you. And if it just happened you got few boxes, they come in and load it up, and they set the machine up for you for the next day. And that'd be all ready to start working here in these mines. Yeah, very sad. And some fellas at the end of the week, you might have 30 ton, 20 ton or something like that for the week. You would pay by the week. And one time you worked day shift and night shift. That was the last one. But years ago you worked 1 shift. But the 2 men would be here on day shift and night shift. You work day, the ops would come down, they work night shift. So if you left in here, you was gone. They would take it on the other shift. And rats. No washrooms down here, and rats all over the place. You didn't have no place to sit down, didn't have something to eat, no, couldn't wash your hands. And you grab a sandwich out your can, and that dirty your hands, you grab it in the corner, and the rats be waiting, you fire the rest. I see one fellow where he was sitting on a pot of coal waiting for an empty to come in, he had his sandwich, and the rat was there, and he jumped up and grabbed the sandwich, but he grabbed it by the knuckle. And then when he was biting on his knuckle, he couldn't get him off. And when he did, the blood was squirting all over the place. There's nothing to see a rat going out and the fellow going with the box of coal with the horse and that, went underneath it and run him over. You shine your light on that dead rat, like he run over. Then all of a sudden the body temperature starts cooling down. You can see all the lights coming up his body all over the place. Then the other rats jump up and eat everything up, and there's nothing left in the section. And they looked after the washrooms and that. They looked at you, not worried about that.
So how much coal would be taken out by one man in a given week?
At a mine?
Yeah.
For everybody?
No, for one man.
For one man? For 1 week or 1 day?
1 week.
1 week?
Which was 6 days.
Well, if you have a good day, like you could have probably 30 ton, 40 ton.
30 ton in a day?
Oh, not in a day. No, for a week. For a week, 30 ton. You multiply whatever, 68. That's all. And like I said, 2 fellas working hard. If you can get the empties, the biggest thing is coming in with the empties and taking the full ones out. If that driver was good, well, he's making 17 cents for every box he sent up, not the empties coming in off the haulage. And say there was another deep over there, the same as this. Well, some of the empties go on the other side of the deep for a man that was working these rooms, and some would come on this side. So you're going to have to wait quite a bit. And this, the only heater that you had down was here. Here's your heater. Right there. You have to keep using that to keep warm down here in the section. And if it's 20 below up there, it's 20 below here, down here. But as the mines advanced, the further they got further away from the surface, the warmer and drier it get. Because I know the mine that me and my dad worked in number 4 was 100 years old. By the time we got down, but the air was no good by the time it was pushed down to us. There's nothing left in it, but it was warmer down there. But the only really cold place is when you're driving down the main rig. When you're coming down, there might be water dripping. In the wintertime, that'd be icicles hanging down. You feel them bouncing off your head as you're coming on your hard hat. So you keep your hand over so you get it in the eye. You can get on the head. So let's go here to a flower garden. That hole, right here.
You cross in the